Yeah. Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? We're really excited about this mini series, Growth Champions. It's going to have a lot of great info in the next couple weeks coming up.
Yeah, thank you for being on this tonight. And we're going to give it a few minutes because I know there's still people trying to log on. They've been texting. And so we're going to give it just a few minutes and we'll get started. Let's take a few minutes and kind of talk a little bit and just share with you guys that we're here for you. And Steve, thank you so much for volunteering to do the first one tonight. It's our Growth Champions. But we're alongside of you guys during this time. As many of you know, I've stepped out of the production, last year when I took the vice president role with EXP, but Kristen's full and active production still. And she's still selling homes.
Yeah, it's been good. A little different. Some people, a little panicky, but all my deals right now, I've had multiple offers. So that's always a good thing. Definitely seems like people are still out there. A lot of action on them still.
Some have sold for prices I never thought they would sell for.
Yeah, there were a couple I thought I was going to have to drop the listing. They were a little questionable, but they came in much higher than expected.
So the good news is, right now, sales are still happening, right? And I know every area is being affected differently. I know in California, they're on a lockdown. I know New York is now on a lockdown. So different areas are being affected differently. But guys, this will come to pass. So really the purpose of this mini series here is to prepare you and to really amp you up for once this passes and we're back to human contact. That's how real estate sales happen. It's a contact sport. It's face to face. And while other agents are trying to get their businesses going again or trying to get their their business in line with a brokerage now that can support them, we'll already be steps ahead of that. We'll already have the plans of what we're going to be doing. We'll know what we need to do, and we're going to take charge, and we're going to come through this, I believe, stronger than we entered it. And please know this, guys. I know we have agents from all over on this call, but I want to speak to a minute for the EXP agents on this call right now. We were built for this. No one should be in an alarm state here that it's with EXP. We were built for this. Our world is 100% operational. Our brokers are there to support the agents. Payment processing is making the payments. We have more trainings than ever. So we were built for this. And we're going to come out of this really, really strong. And for the agents that are on this call that are not with EXP, we have opened our world to all agents. We have over 50 hours of live training a week. We are here for you. This isn't about color, religion, or logo. This is about us coming together, okay, as human race and getting through something that was unexpected. So we need to join forces on this. If anybody wants a guest pass to the world, you can reach out to Kristen or I, or if you're a guest of someone on this call right now, reach out to them. Say, hey, give me that access to the world and come attend our trainings. All right, Steve, how are you feeling, my man?
I am alive, excited, and full of energy, guys. 100%.
I'm going to make you the host and give a little introduction here.
All right. Hopefully I don't have to do too much as the host as far as pushing buttons here. But hey, man, I really appreciate it, Christian and Kristen. You guys are awesome. You've done a great job in getting this thing all organized and everybody together for this. I need it just as much as everyone else does. Obviously, we've had a lot going on in the world, and it's a pretty intense change for everybody. But the interesting thing is, everybody at EXP and all of us, we're kind of doing the same thing that we've always done as far as my day-to-day operations. Just to give you a quick background for those of you who don't know me, I know there's about 62 people on here. Most of you are in our greater group as far as our, business partners. But I started full-time. I got back into real estate full-time 2012, 2013, and I was at a loss. I had just filed for bankruptcy. I went through the crash just like everybody else did. I had a bunch of rental properties at the time. And, it was kind of depressing, and My wife was making more money than I was, and we were having our first child about 8.5 years ago. And I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm going to have to start providing for my family. And I really didn't know what to do. I knew that there was a lot of agents out there that consistently made money in this business. I just didn't know how they did it. So I did my research. I started looking at the top agents in the area, and I identified a few, and I started poking around, asking questions, and it really didn't, until I went to this seminar. I really didn't know what direction to go. I knew there was so many different ways to make money, but what I did is I went to a seminar through recommendation of a friend of mine, and I bought into it. I ended up getting a coach, and once I got a coach, everything changed for me 100%. I mean, I literally went from, not knowing where I was going to get my next deal. I think that was 2012, 2013. And when I got that coach and they put me, they got me to write my goals down. They sat down with me and wrote a business plan. My deals went from 4 or 5 a year up to, 17, then 50. And then in 2015, I did 80 deals that year. And I've been able to maintain a consistent business ever since. So, that was in 2015, and, coming out of a market that was really bad a few years before that, I learned a couple of things. I learned a lot of things. And what I've done actually with one of the guys in the group, I don't know if he's on the call, but Jesse Willoughby and he's out of California. What we have done is we've written a book. We've taken our experiences and we've taken a plan that we know that works. And we did put a book out. It's called Extreme Agents Blueprint. And this is not about promoting this book. It's not about, me. I want to help everybody on this call be as successful as possible. And the first thing in this book, if you want to get the book, I'll give you a free copy. If you want to pay 99 cents, it goes towards charity. We're going to send the money to charity for the first 30 days. And like I said, it's 99 cents. It's Extreme Agents Blueprint. And the first part of the blueprint, and this is very timely, is all about mindset. When I first got a coach, I kept hearing all this, mindset. Everything is about mindset. And I thought, well, what does that mean? What do you mean mindset? How do I maintain my mindset? How do I keep sharp? How do I keep positive? Well, right now, here's what I do. And it has changed my life over the last, 6 or 7 years. Number one, I don't watch the news. Okay. So some of you I guarantee a lot of you are saying, what do you mean you don't watch the news? It's all about the news right now, blah, blah, blah. I have not watched any of the news. And no, I have not sat online and watched all the news stuff. I literally get the information that's important. If it's important, friends and family and everybody else is already going to tell you about it. Social media is going to tell you about it. And I don't spend a lot of time on social media. You guys may or may not know or see that I do a lot of stuff on social media. I actually hire somebody to do most of that, full disclosure. So I don't spend all my day sitting on social media. I do not spend hardly any time at all, if any at all, watching the news. If it's important, I'm going to find out about it. So I don't need to fill my mind with negativity. I surround myself with very positive people. Most of the time, these people are more productive than I am. They're people I look up to, people like John Sy and, Simone and Pablo. These are the type of people that I surround myself with. So I can be uplifted. I can be in a positive mindset. I can push myself harder every single day and, every single month and every single year. So the biggest thing that this is all about is mindset. I have to be positive right now. I'm being as positive as possible. I'm exercising. And that's, this is a really interesting time because we're really we've all been forced to get out of our routine, and it's really uncomfortable. Maybe it's, you know, we could look at it as being a time to relax and buy into all this. We have to stay home and we can't do anything, so everybody else is. I'm just going to sit around and watch TV. Nobody's going to want to hear from me. I'm not going to talk to anybody. That's all BS. That's all mindset. That is absolutely what this society and what everybody else, for the most part, is trying to get us to buy into. I'm not buying into that. Okay. So I am using this downtime to create new habits.
What time?
To do positive things in my life that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do certain things. Okay, hold on a second. Let me mute.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye.
Hold on 1 second. There we go. Mute. So there's certain things that, because I'm pretty much stuck at home and, you know, I can't go out and, you know, maybe do a couple things here and there. My kids don't have sporting events right now. I can't think of all the things that I can't do. But this is a time that I've been able to, you know what, I've got a personal trainer now. I have somebody that I can get on a Zoom call and do some personal training and strengthen parts of my body that I haven't had time to do in the past. You know, there's things like that that I'm creating in my life, new habits that are positive habits. I'm not sitting around watching TV. I'm not buying into all the news, and I'm forming new habits. I'm taking this time to better myself, to do some things that I've always wanted to do in my life. So this is also a really good time. I don't know, you know, if everybody's doing this, but one of the things that I'm doing is I'm rewriting my goals. I'm sitting down looking at where I'm at. We're you know, basically at the, you know, we're getting into the second quarter of the year. And I look at everything that I did the first quarter. I assess where I'm at. I set my goals. I look at my goals for the year, and I make adjustments for what I have to do the second quarter to reach those goals. So that's a big thing. And when I say I look at my goals, it doesn't mean I just look at them and think about them. I actually write down, I have a specific plan. I have specific goals written down. Writing my goals down is a huge deal. So this is a good time for me, you know, to reassess where I'm at personally, physically, mentally, and try to improve on try to create some new habits in my life. Also to look at my business goals, try to set some new goals, and then create a plan to get there. So it's, you know, writing my goals down and having an idea is one thing, or knowing where I want to be is one thing. I have to have a plan to get there. And if some of you are saying, hey, Steve, all this is great, I've heard it a million times, where do I start? I don't know what to do. I don't have a coach. No problem. You can go to our website, and there's free material in our website. It's extremeagentsvip.com, extremeagentsvip.com. If you go in there, you can there's about 6 or 8 downloads right now. We're continuously adding to it, but you can download some of the information in there so you're able to write down your goals and set a business plan. And that's the same stuff that I've used to sell over 400 homes in the last 6.5 years, is exactly the materials you're seeing in there. We've just kind of, you know, modified them and made them very user-friendly for everybody to use. So once I take a look at everything and I decide what new habits I'm going to create, and I start to do those things, and I have my new goals, which I do, I write a business plan. One of those things on my business plan is I have this personal trainer that I can't afford, that I've hired to help me over the next 60 days to get in shape so I can be physically more productive at work and in my life. You know, hey, I'm getting up there. I'm almost 50 years old. I got to take care of myself, or I'm not going to be doing this a whole lot longer because it's a lot of work. So defining my goals. I want to have the right mindset, first of all. I want to stay away from the news. I want to incorporate positive things into my life. I get rid of some of the bad habits that I have. I incorporate new habits. I define what those are. I set goals. And then I write a business plan, a daily business plan, a weekly business plan, a monthly business plan to achieve those goals. And we also have 2 times a week on Wednesday and Friday at 1:30. Anybody that's on this call, 1:30 Central Time, can get on a 30-minute, it usually goes 45 minutes. It's a coaching call to walk you through these steps. And we're just at the beginning of one of our sessions. So if you get in this week, you're not going to be too far behind. Just go into the website and print some of the materials out so you're prepared. We're basically, we've covered the mindset, we've covered defining your goals, and we're starting to work on the business plan. So we've broken this down into 10 steps, 10 easy steps. Once you write the business plan, then you have to carry out your daily plan or your daily schedule, and you have to track that information. This is all stuff that I do on a daily basis. So what am I doing right now? Because, I'm human, my mindset is strong, but oh my God, this is like a major situation going on right now. So what I still have coaches as well. I do anywhere from 50 to 60 transactions a year. I've been recruiting a lot of agents, but I still have coaches. That's how I do all this stuff. So one of the things that my coach has told me recently is this is a great time to reach out to your database, your past sellers, friends and family that refer business to you, or just friends and family in general. And what am I saying to those people? I'm not going out and asking those people for business right now. Nobody wants to hear, hey, who do you know that's thinking about buying or selling in the next couple of months? That's not what I'm doing. When I'm reaching out to friends, family, past clients, a sphere of influence, I'm just asking them, how are they managing during this time? What's going on? Is there anything that I can help you guys with? I know that everybody's stuck at home. I just wanted to give you a call and see how everything's going. And just have a conversation with them and just let them know that you're there if they need anything. Let them know that, and what'll happen naturally is they're going to start asking you what's going on in your life or your business. And what I'll say is, believe it or not, we've had properties going under contract, which we have. And, hopefully the closings that I have coming up are going to happen. It's just kind of business as usual. We just had to make some adjustments and, just let them know that you're there for them. So, that's a couple things. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time and keep going here, but I'll tell you, there's a huge advantage to having this large group of people. And, everybody that's here is most of the people are on WhatsApp. We're all getting together there. We're talking about, positive things. Everybody's trying to be very positive, which is great. And, that's why Christian and Kristen put this together so we can have this. I think it's going to go over the next couple of weeks. 3 times a week, we're doing this. And there's going to be a different guest kind of talking about their take on things and where things are going. And hey, one of the things I wanted to say is I joined EXP. It's been about 16 months, so almost a year and a half, I guess. And I'll tell you, I don't know where I would be without EXP right now. It's the best move, the best decision I've ever made. And I know you guys, some of you are kind of new to EXP, but I'll tell you, going through this possible shift in the market, to have all these other benefits that we have with EXP, it's night and day compared to what it must be like at other agencies. Where, can you imagine having your office shut down? You're having to all learn how to use Zoom and adapt to all these things where you can't, meet face to face. And we're doing that already. And, we have health insurance, and, if you're participating like in the stock purchasing thing and all that. Okay, Christian. All right. If you're participating in the stock purchase program, yeah, the stock went down a little bit, but I can tell you it's about at the same level where I bought it all of last year. And okay, Christian wants me to talk about what I do for sales. So what I normally do, and what I've been doing up until the last, well, I guess it's March. On March 1st, I started a whole new business plan. And I can't control what the market's like. I've learned that it's, I don't have control over the market. All I have control over is what actions I take in the market and how I operate and what I do on a daily basis. So what I've been doing is I have upped the number of people that I'm talking to on a daily basis. I've upped that by about 30%. So what I do every day is I get into the office at the same time. I'm on the phone at 8 o'clock and I make 42 contacts per day. Who do I call? In my market, I'm calling expireds, canceled, for sale by owner. I'm calling past clients. And right now I'm upping that a little bit. I'm calling 10 past clients a day or sphere of influence. I'm doing follow-up calls because if you make all those calls every day, you're going to have a lot of people that say, you know what, I'm not doing anything right now, but get back to me in a month. I cut that in half. I call them in 2 weeks.
Hey,
so
Steve,
I'm calling a certain number of people every day.
Steve, can I jump in a second?
Yeah.
I got to ask you a couple questions, man. You're getting me excited, okay?
Yeah.
A lot of people on this call have never prospected before because the market has been so hot, right? Think about it.
Oh yeah.
A lot of agents have never called an expired or for sale by owner, and you're hitting it on the head right now of where probably we're going to be going, okay? And we're going back to a market that we have to work. So I need you to dig into this for us, Steve. 42 calls a day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. For sale by owners, expires. How are you getting their information? What are you saying to them? And how do you keep motivated to call these people every day?
Well, real simply, if you want to do that, and I suggest that you do, the first thing I would suggest, you have to get a dialer and you have to get the information. So if you don't have any money at all, you can still do it. Don't use that as an excuse because everybody's on the MLS. All the expired and canceled are on the MLS. I know people that don't speak very good English that can do 50 to 60 deals a year by door knocking. So that's another avenue. Right now, it's probably not the best idea to go knock on doors. I will admit that could be a little bit of a problem. But if you want to start making calls, you can get RedX. I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying that's one of the sources. RedX will get you all the information. Expire, cancel, withdraw, and FSBO. You can call around properties, whatever you want. Plus, there's a dialer, and that's probably about $400 or $500 a month. I personally use Mojo Dialer. I've had that for about 7 or 8 years, and that has the ability to do a 3-line dialer. I think RedX as well does that. And Mojo's only about $110 a month. I don't think you can get expireds, but you can get FSBOs and you can call around properties with Mojo.
So Steve, can you explain a little bit what a dialer is? A lot of agents have never used a dialer before, and
yeah.
Can you explain that?
Okay, so a dialer basically is I log into the website, either Mojo or RedX or Vulcan, whichever one you decide to get. And it has you log into the website, you call a phone number, and then it basically you're logged into the system, and it allows you to dial 1, 2, or 3 lines at the same time. Dials them for you. So you don't have to dial it. You only have to call in one time, and it'll call the numbers for you. And you can sit there and, dial 1,000 numbers in, like 3 hours. And only dialing yourself one time into the system.
So now, what are you saying when you get someone on the line now? You've got a for sale, or there are certain scripts that you use, or what have you found to be best? Great question.
And that's what I get asked that kind of question all the time. And there's actually scripts on the website, extremeagentsvip.com. If you go in there, there's a section you can click on that has the scripts if you want to call expired. If you want to call, canceled and expired are kind of the same thing. You want to call for sale by owner. If you're going to call just listed, just sold, or database, there's scripts in there. And if you don't like the scripts, you're going to have to you're going to have to ask them some questions. And if you want to get some different scripts, you could always email me and I'll give you a few other ideas. But for the most part, that's exactly what I use.
All right, so I just want to recap that real quick. I just put the link in the chat, extremeagentsvip.com. Steve is saying his scripts that he uses, and he sells 50 to 60 homes a year, okay, by a main part of his business is calling for sales and expires. These are the scripts he's using, and they're working, and he's giving them to us. This is gold, guys. Get on extremeagentsvip.com and start learning these scripts. I assure you, this is going to have to become a part of your business.
And guys, it's not easy to do, okay? It's simple, but it's not easy because a lot of people just don't do it, and it's all because of fear. I'm fearful sometimes, or just reluctant to want to make the calls, but the easiest way to do it is just jump in. None of these people are ever going to probably see you. If you have a bad conversation with them, so what? Just move on to the next one. If they get pissed off and tell you to go, F yourself or whatever, it's going to happen. It happens all the time. Go to the next one. There's going to be, what you're looking for is you're like a prospector. You're prospecting for gold nuggets. You might have to sift through a lot of dirt before you find that nugget, but I guarantee you they are there. I know because I track my numbers. I've tracked it for 7 years. For every 100 contacts I make, I close a deal, and my average deal is about $8,000 per close.
Okay, wait, hold on just 1 second there, Steve. So you've been tracking your numbers for 7-8 years, and you're
Yes.
saying out of every 100 calls, you're getting one deal.
Yeah, I'm closing a deal.
So mentally, we got to talk about this. Mentally, how are you handling the rejection of 99 no's? How are you not quitting at the 98th no? What do you do to prepare for that rejection? Because that might be easier for you as you've been doing it, but for a lot of people, getting into rejection is not easy.
First of all, that's where the mindset comes in. You have to be prepared that that's going to happen and just accept that's going to happen. So I know that for every single no that I get, and I try to ask as many questions as possible to try to get them to say no or hang the phone up on me. That's a win for me, because every no that I get, I'm one call closer to the next yes. And what happens very often is agents will start making phone calls, and they'll call for a week. They'll call for a week and a half, and they'll make 25 calls a day, and they will get rejection, nothing, nada. They won't get an appointment. They won't get a lead or nothing. Well, guess what? They quit. And right around the corner, I've had this happen to me countless times. I don't get an appointment for 2 weeks. The next Monday or the next day that I call, I might get 3 or 4 appointments and go sign them up as listings. It happens all the time. So you just have to keep grinding. You have to keep making those calls. You're going to eventually get some yeses. And once you get into a rhythm, you're going to get a lot of yeses. It just happens.
That's great, Steve. I love that advice, and that's something people can be doing now still as we're going through this time. But Steve, let me ask you, we're coming up at 7:30 right now. We got about another 10 or 15 minutes. We've spoken about what to do during the times of being locked in and the no human contact, but we know that that's not going to be long-lived. We know society is going to be back to being in contact. That's what we do as human beings. And I believe that's not going to be very far out. What are you doing, Steve, in your business when human contact is back in place? How aggressive are you getting? Where are you going to be? Where are you finding buyers and sellers?
On the phone. I'm still sticking to the phones. That's why it doesn't really bother me too much. But hey, you see this? This is cards. These are cards. What I'm doing right now, because it is a unusual amount of downtime, is I'm writing out 5 cards a day, and I'm sending those to leads. Number 1, people that I've talked to. I'm not sending those out. I'm going to send these out probably in about 7 days, because I know this is going to go into April, and I want people to start getting this little mailer. It's just a card saying, hey, I talked to you on the phone. This is Steve Merritt. Here's the information that I said I was going to send over. And, it's got a little thing about, blah, blah, blah. I'm an expert listing agent, whatever. They're going to get that 10 days or 2 weeks from now. And I I'm going to call them within 48 hours of them getting that. And I'm going to say, hey, this is Steve Merritt with Exp Realty. I talked to you a couple of weeks back. I also sent you a little information in the mail. I just wanted to see if you got that. Oh, no, I didn't get that. No problem. No problem. Well, why don't we do this? I want to show you what we've been able to do over the last several months to, sell over 25 homes. Are you available at 2 o'clock so I can show you our marketing plan? Set an appointment. So people, as soon as this thing goes away, people are going to be dying to get out or meet with people. I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to be like, all this pent up energy. People are going to want to meet with you. It's going to happen. So be prepared. Call, email, text, mail something cheap out to all these people like over the next 2 weeks. And eventually, I mean, it's the spring market. It always is going to be a good time of year to sell. And these people are all going to be ready to rock and roll here in about 2-3 weeks. So be ready.
I love that, Steve. That's great advice there. And I think we're going to see the market rock, like you said. I know some jobs are being affected, but other industries are hiring hundreds of thousands right now.
Yep.
So I do see a shift of maybe where people are employed, but the employment is still there is what we're seeing. So that's great advice. Now, Steve, if you could please, as we get close to wrapping this up, can you give us a little bit of a look at your day? And if you could be transparent with us, we're all human. I know there's times I set goals and I miserably fail at them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I set the alarm clock at 5 a.m. and I wake up at 8:30 a.m. because I hit the snooze button 125 times. But what does your day look like for success? How do you start your day? What do you do throughout your day? And what does it feel like when you say today was a successful day? What does that look like?
What I've learned is I try to be as consistent as possible. I've also learned that I'm human. A perfect day for me, at the end of the day, here's what I know after 7 or 8 years of prospecting and doing this full time. If I simply follow through with the integrity that I have and do what I say I'm going to do, if it's 20 contacts, 10 contacts, if I do that work, the only time I consider myself actually working is if I'm doing contacts, because if I'm not, I've mentally trained myself that I'm not working. After a while, you get into this habit. If I don't do my contacts, it's a day off, basically. Even if I'm showing house or whatever, it doesn't count for me. So if I do what I say I'm going to do, oh my God, I feel so good at the end of the day. And that could be 10 contacts. If my goal for the week is 10 contacts a day, talk to 4 agents a day, and work out 3 times during the week, I'm going to feel like a freaking superstar, champion, Olympic gold medalist at the end of the week. And that's just how it happens. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, just having that self-integrity.
Awesome. Steve, is there anything else you'd like to share? Or would you want to open up a little time maybe for 10 minutes of questions? There's some questions in the chat right now. I can read them for you if that would work.
Yeah, why don't you read them? There's like 46. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Great questions. Thank you, everybody, for being here and engaging. Steve, thank you for sharing these nuggets right now. We need this. And some people are going to relate with some things you're doing, and they're going to be able to put that into their daily success habits. Helen asks, is it 100 calls or 100 actual conversations to get that one sale is what I think they're saying there.
It's 100 conversations.
100 conversations.
So I probably make 100 calls in 2 hours. So on average, we've tested this a million different ways. For every 10 contacts, it takes an hour. And a contact is a conversation. Even if it's somebody hanging up on you, as long as I feel like I've got the right person on the phone or a decision maker on the phone, I count that as a contact. I also count my follow-up calls as contacts during the day. I used to not do that. Mentally, it messed me up because then I would be worried about getting my contacts and then I wouldn't follow up because I'd be so wore out and I'd put it off to the end. I don't do that anymore. I count my contacts, my follow-up calls as contacts also.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. I love that. That's a A lot of calls in that mojo dialer is where that's going to come in hand, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. Someone says, this is Rachel. Thank you for this question. Great question here. I get a lot of no's, but also get stuck on calls with people who just want a friendly listener and want to talk, but aren't really buyers. How do you listen to people like that, but move on?
It's a great question. I had one of those today. There's actually a lot of people that want to chat right now too. So it's a tough one, but you know what I do? I listen and bite my tongue. I just don't say anything. Is listen for, a couple minutes. I repeat and affirm what they say. That's great. I completely understand. Most of the time when you get those people on the phone, you can't really say anything. They just keep talking. You know what? If unless you're set up with an appointment or you're going to get an appointment, just pull one of these and say, John or whoever it is, I apologize. I've got a call that I have to take right now. Can I give you a call and can we finish this conversation later? I'm sorry, what? And just, eventually you got to hang up. I mean, it is what it is. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So there is no easy way. You just have to get through it.
You just got to tell them you have another call coming in that you have to take. You could say it's your kid's school. I got to take this.
So every time you tell me your kid's school is calling when we're on the phone, you're trying to
You know what, Chris? I got to go. This is my son's school calling. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. What are you going to do? It's a little bit late for school right now, but hey, you know what I'm talking about.
I got it. Okay. Christina says, suggestions for the rest of us are like New York, no cold calls. I think they're talking about the do not call list, which is in the whole US now. Can you put some light into that? How do you stay away from people on the do not call list?
Well, in the dialers, you can indicate that you don't call anybody on the do not call list, and we should not do that. So if you're not able to call people, and I believe that in Canada that's the case, I know some agents up there that do 50, 60, 100 plus deals a year that don't call any expired, canceled, or whatever. You just have to create a bigger database. So everybody, if you've been in the business a couple of years, you should have 200, 300, 400 people in your database. If you don't, make it a goal to add 5 people every day. And ironically, if you go into extremeagentsvip.com, we have a memory jogger in there, which is very helpful. And I just recently went through this. It lists anybody and everybody you possibly come in contact with, and it jogs your memory to write more people down that you might be able to contact. So if you have 1,000 people on your in your database, you should be able to do 100 deals a year, because for every, you should be able to do 10% deals to number of people in your database ratio every year.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, more questions coming in. This is great. What time during the day are you making your calls and getting people on the phone? When's the best time to be making these calls?
Depends on who you're calling, but I always go from 8 until 11 a.m. And if I don't get a hold of my contacts by then, now I'm calling until like 12:30, because we've just got so much extra time and people are at home. The next best time to get a hold of people is 4:30 to 5:30 when they're getting home from work or on their way home from work.
Awesome.
Always at 8 a.m. is the best time.
And I might help take the lead on this one, Steve, if you want to chime in. Christina came back and said, no, NY can't make cold calls right now. State mandated until 9/8, I think. That would be great, because I hate the telemarketers calling my phone all day. Christina, what I would say with that is you need to dig into a good CRM. Here at EXP, we use KV Core. All of our agents have it. You can do landing pages, squeeze pages. You need to get ads out there in front of people that are opting in to your services. These CRMs do that automatically, and that is no longer a cold call now. They are actually asking for your services, and you can generate hundreds, if not thousands of these a month just by putting some time into it. All right. Steve knows the numbers and it is clear what a powerful tool that truly is. Yes, that is awesome. Great comment there. All right. It looks like we are out of questions on here. We've got about 5 more minutes with Steve before we're going to wrap this up at the end. If somebody would like to unmute yourself, just go ahead. If we do just one at a time, if you have a question for Steve, like I said, please, we have about 5 minutes. Go ahead and do that now. Just unmute yourself and ask Steve any questions you have that you haven't typed out.
Hey, Steve. It's Brian Hatch up in White Rock, Canada. The coach that you're using, is it Mike Ferry or Tom Ferry?
No, it isn't. It's actually somebody in our group that I'm using, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I said who it was. John Tublaris is my coach right now, so I'm actually being coached by him personally once a week. He knows his stuff.
Great question.
Now let me backtrack. I was in the Mike Ferry coaching program. I was also in the coaching program that Christian was in, and had the same coach as he did as well. So I've been in several different coaching programs. I've had a few mindset coaches, which were basically real estate coaches along the way. So it's been a combination of several different types of coaching and coaches. I've just found that sticking to a daily schedule and prospecting has been the most predictable way to manage my business. And, you know, it's my go-to. That's what I do every day.
If you heard that, guys, and when you talk to successful people in real estate, they're going to have one thing in common. They have a coach. Okay, let's listen to that. They have a coach. The greatest return of investment is what you invest in yourself. Coaching is very, very important. Great. Who else has another question?
I got one. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Lily. How are you?
I'm great. So, we can all tell from that great presentation you just gave us that you are like a well-oiled machine. You know your numbers. You're making your contacts. You've been doing this for years and years and years. Not much has probably changed from your routine, is what it sounds like. So my question to you is, you're still doing the same things that you were already doing, but because of what we are going through in this world right now, what have you learned, maybe about yourself or about your business in the past week that you didn't know about yourself before?
One of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years, and especially it's coming to light now, is it's really important to keep in touch with all of your past clients in your sphere of influence as much as possible. You know, and what I've learned is I'm not a real touchy-feely, sentimental kind of guy all the time. And sometimes I'm just all about taking the next listing and rocking and rolling and moving as fast as I can. But I've learned that I have to connect with my clients and give great customer service at all times. And it really pays off during this type of market to get those referrals and have the trust of your clients. And I'm upping that game right now. This is a perfect time to do that, to reach out to people. I do care about people, even though maybe I'm not, the cuddliest guy in the world all the time, or the best listener, but those are things I have to work on. Those are some of the habits and some of the skills that I'm working on right now, being a better listener and, giving better customer service right now. So that's one thing I've learned.
Thank you, Steve, for being so transparent. And guys, that's going to come up to a wrap of tonight's mini series. I want to thank you, Steve, for providing the knowledge you did tonight and for all your resources. I want to recap on a couple things. Make sure you're going to extremeagentsvip.com. That's where you're going to get the scripts. That's where you're going to get your memory jogger to be able to start working your sphere of influence. That's very, very important. Steve had offered his book. He'd offer it for free, but he also said it's 99 cents for charity. If you have 99 cents to spare for charity, let's do something good in the world right now and help our business. Steve, can you please provide me with a link for your book, and I'll make sure that we send it out to everybody.
Yes. Yeah, I will. And I'll also send you the coaching that we're doing twice a week. And for anybody in our group, it's, here it's free. So that's 1:30 on Wednesday and Friday Central Time. We do a 30-minute Zoom. It's usually like 45 minutes. We go over all of the steps of the blueprint in the book. And, it's we're just passing on knowledge that we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and years to learn. So it's free.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve, again. And before we end tonight, I want to tell everybody about our next session, which is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Hold on to your britches. We have President Dave Kennard of Exp Realty. That's right. I said President Dave Kennard. Dave Kennard has been involved in thousands of home sales. He's recruited thousands of people. He owned regions at KW. He was in charge of all of the recruiting and training for Long and Foster's. This man is knowledgeable, and he's going to be sharing with us Wednesday night how to grow your business during these times. And he's going to be focusing on attracting agents. This is an opportunity that we have, that many agents are looking for homes during this time and will be. I am so excited about Wednesday. You do not want to miss it. Again, this next one, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Kristen?
All right. Thanks, everyone, for taking time out of your day to join us. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Chris and Kristen. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Great job,
Email
Steve.
me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.